Good morning. Welcome to Column Hinge at Alpha Omega Mystery School. We're located halfway between Death Valley and Las Vegas. Halfway between Joshua Tree and Area 51 in the Mojave Desert of the Southwest United States. You can see right now we have a very interesting feature. You see how there's sunlight here and shadow and sunlight. And now I'll show you over the mountain. You see? Right there where the sun is getting ready to rise, there's a tiny little peak, an additional peak on the mountain ridge. And that peak is the shadow that you see over here. It's part of the reason why that's called Shadow Mountain. Well, the sun will be rising in any moment now, so we will wait for that first bright blast as it comes over the mountaintop.
Well, I made it. I didn't think I would. I sent you out here early. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
We're really trying to get sunrise for you every day, but this time of year it's so hard because it gets earlier and then going down the mountain.
And then up the mountain
And we're having trouble with our modem, so with our router. So it's like, I never know if it's going to take me 5 minutes to set this up or a half an hour. So this morning it connected the second time.
All right.
We got lucky.
We did. Oh.
Shall we get in position?
Let's get in position.
I don't know. It's liable to come any second now.
Well.
Look at Shadow Mountain. It's at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
That
yeah.
sunrise is any second now.
Any second now.
By the way, while we're waiting for sunrise, you got to look at the field there. Look at that field.
Oh, yes.
This is our sorghum field for this year. We grew it. We've put it out twice as large as usual, just in case there's a depression, so we got food this winter. So there's going to be lots of sorghum.
After the ritual.
We'll show them maybe a little bit. You got the little bitty sprouts coming up. Leslie's been really, really nervous because the sprouts hadn't come up. They were late. And yesterday they showed up right at the end of the ritual.
It's supposed to be a 14-day germination, and this year it was 19. And that extra 5 days was very tense. It was very tense, very intense 5 days.
Right.
You know, the second I turn away to show them Shadow Mountain, it'll pop right up.
Of course it will.
Oh, but they're getting such good effects on the camera. See the shaft of light here and here?
Right. I sent you out too early because I saw it on Shadow Mountain coming down.
See, it's that ridge. There's a bump up.
There it is.
There it is. Good morning. Welcome to Column Hinge at Alpha Omega Mystery School. We're located halfway between Death Valley and Las Vegas, halfway between Joshua Tree and Area 51 in the Mojave Desert of the Southwest United States.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, 2020. The ancient magical rite you're about to experience is unique in the world. Written and performed from the first-person perspective of Jesus of Nazareth, this ritual comes from the first book of Iao, contained within the Bruce Codex, an ancient Christian manuscript rediscovered beneath the sands of Egypt by archaeologists. I'm Bishop David Griffin.
I'm Reverend High Priestess Leslie McQuaid.
And this is the Lost Magic of Jesus Revival.
The sun is the dispenser of light to the earth. May the living light of the God Force inflame our souls with abundant life.
Our destiny lies amongst the stars, and to the stars humanity shall ascend. We are going to have a quick look at Shadow Mountain here. That is how we tell sunrise, by how quickly the sun is coming down the mountain. It's the best indication that we have. And here at the fire pit, we have frequently donkeys come through here. We come outside in the morning, a couple stones are knocked off. All right.
Take a nice deep breath and feel into your body. Breathe deeply. Feel how your breath changes the way your skin feels. Feel into your solar plexus. Feel into your abdominal wall. Feel into your bones. And as you are breathing deeply and feeling deeply into each and every part of yourself, visualize yourself as the tree of life, however it is you imagine that tree to be, and grow your branches up high into alpha sky. Drive your roots down deep into Omega Earth. I call on you in the east, Alpha. I call on you in the west, Omega. I call on you in the north, Alpha. I call on you in the south, Omega.
Alpha.
Et Omega.
The beginning.
And the end.
And the path of the age between. Sunrise.
And sunset.
And the path of the sun between. Birth.
And death.
And the path of life between. Alpha.
Omega.
Once again, we gather here in this sacred place at Column Hinge, this church not made with hands. and reaching out with the energy of our energetic bodies, we reconnect with the invisible life force all around us. And reconnecting with this divine life energy, we call upon the angels in the invisible. Angels of the treasury of light. Na-e Iau. Na-e Iau. Aiza. Aiza. Aio. Aio. Assist me to open the treasury. And there are 12 heads in his treasury. And these are the names that are in the places when they sing praises to my Father, and he gives light power to them. Almighty angels, head in the place of the east, we invoke you, we call upon you using your secret name left to us by the Master Jesus of Nazareth. Uae Zaita. Uae Zaita. Almighty angel, second of 12, head in the place of the east to the south. We call upon you using your secret name left to us by the Master Jesus prior to his ascension. El Mozaz. El Mozaz. Ozei. Ozei. Zez us. Zezus. Zozaya. Zozaya. Ozowoaze. Ozowaze. Zeomae. Zeomae. Aeazozaye. Aeazozaye. Zezai.
Zizai.
Uazua. Uazua. Erazua. Erazua. Zowoaza. Zowaza. So completed our journey through the places, invoking each of the 12 mighty angels, using the secret names left to us by the Master Jesus of Nazareth prior to his ascension. Until at length our journey brought us into the place of the center, the place of the midst, the place of perfect balance, the place of the Father of the treasure of light. O Father of the treasure of light, by your cipher and by your name left to us by the Master Jesus, we invoke you. Uyeza. Uyeza. Let the divine light descend. We call upon ye, almighty angels of the treasury of light. We have once again opened the treasury, using your secret names left to us by the Master Jesus in the first book of Iao. Thank you so much for coming and honoring your covenant with humanity. You promised that you would come in our hour of direst need. What greater need does humanity face than the threat of the coronavirus that has us all imprisoned in our homes? You know as well as I do that this is but the outer sign of what we have long awaited and knew that one day would come despite our best efforts. Once again, the demons of the dark realm have overrun the earth, have possessed our leaders, and are driving mankind off a cliff and trying to destroy humanity itself. This is our hour of need. We have called you. You have answered the call. It is our fervent prayer and our magical intention of this rite, as it is every day, to establish human freedom worldwide.
Human freedom worldwide!
Drive back the demons.
Drive back the demons!
Cast them out.
Cast them out!
By the power of Jesus of Nazareth and by the mighty names of the hosts of angels of the Lord. Cast them out. Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
And protect the integrity of our genetic code.
Protect the integrity of Homo sapiens' genetic code.
Restore the purity of our air.
Restore the purity of our air.
Of our water.
Restore the purity of our water.
Of our food.
Restore the purity of our food.
And our medicines.
Restore the purity of our medicines.
May all those who search for the abundant life promised by the Master Jesus of Nazareth come to understand the ways of the God force and learn also to fill your soul to overflowing with the living light all around you all the time. And then in that hour when death inevitably comes calling on each and every one of us, may we shed our physical body like a serpent sheds its skin, and project our consciousness into our body of light and ascend triumphant directly into the kingdom of light, as did the Master Jesus before us, who showed us the way. And now, wherever you may be, whatever your need, whatever your affliction, ask now for a miracle, and it shall be given to you. All these things we ask in the name of the Master Jesus of Nazareth. Amen.
Amen. So mote it be. Take a moment now to again feel into your body. This ancient magical rite we're doing together helps you experience more God force today. As you take each breath, you breathe in oxygen and water and carbon dioxide and nitrogen and God force all together. And when you concentrate on your breath, you find that your breath becomes more satisfying. And as you concentrate on God force with each breath, so each breath becomes more sustaining. God force energy, as you breathe it in, helps you to achieve that which you want to achieve, whether that is good health or keeping up with your own schedule. God force energy is power that you can use. There are many, many lessons carried in God force. God force energy is a fiber optic cable from the ultimate source of creation to you. And as you connect to this force, new ideas will come into your mind. This is an amazing power. You know, there's not many creatures who can think of new things. What new things does a bumblebee experience? It is guided purely by instinct, and creativity does not arrive to the bee. It is hardwired into the bee, and the creativity the bee expresses in the comb and its flight is simply that which it already has the capacity to do. You, human, are different. You have the capacity to do things that have never been done before by any other human being ever. This capacity is because of our connection to God force energy, the creative source behind the power, the source of all things good and bright and beautiful. And when you tap into God force energy, you give to yourself the gift of creative power, the power to think of things that have never been thought of before, the power to create things that have never been seen before, the power to do that which has never been done or that which has not been done in a very, very, very long time. And that's what we are doing here now. Something that has not been done for a very long time. We are reaching out into the God force with the full power and intention of taking that God force into ourselves, forgiving ourselves of sins, filling up our inequities, becoming perfected human beings, becoming therefore even more than human, and becoming that which has the right to sit at the hand of the Creator as co-creator. This is what creative power is, the power to be co-creator with God itself. And when you breathe in God force energy, that raw, naked, pure power, you have the capacity to create and Today, you will create something magnificent.
Wow, thank you, Leslie, for those inspiring words. We so appreciate each and every one of you who join us here day after day. Thank you again for coming out, celebrating this magnificent rite of the opening of the Treasury of Light with us. We are opening the treasuries of light using the magic, the lost magic of Jesus, contained in the first book of Iao. The second book of Iao is even more interesting and contains the 3 lost baptisms of Christ, together with the mystery of the forgiveness of sins, the mystery of how to break the power of demons over you, and the mystery of resurrection, the mystery of rapture, how to rise and ascend on the plains in the moments of death. All of these rites were left to us, the great rites of baptism and the great mysteries left to us by Master Jesus, who taught these mysteries to his disciples until they were repressed by the Roman Church in the 3rd century, yet preserved by the bishops of Egypt, thank goodness. Otherwise, they would have been lost to us today. You're joining us for a magnificent and splendid rite here every morning, and it's also an historic event, for to the best of our knowledge, our work here is the first time in thousands of years that the treasuries of light have been opened again the way they are here. If you'd like to know more about the lost books of Iao and the secret magic that Jesus taught to his disciples, you'll definitely want to download our free ebook, Was Jesus Secretly a Magician? The 3 Lost Baptisms of Christ. You can download that today for free, still for now, at our website at alphaomega.church. While you're there, we would appreciate if you'd consider leaving a donation, small or large, assuming you still have a job. Those who are unemployed, don't worry. The ones who have a job have been stepping forward and making up the slack. We thank you so much during this difficult time, because we take no government money whatsoever. We only fund this mission through your donations and through your purchase of our courses in Magick and in ministry. So thanks again for coming out. We really appreciate your being here. And now something very special before we close. Leslie would like to show you our field. Now, on our way over there, let's talk a little bit about the Victory Garden. The Victory Garden is a tradition that was started in the Second World War, when Americans needed to grow their own food and become independent once again. And now today, the coronavirus has shown us the need for such independence. It's time for America to bring its supply lines home and its manufacturing home. And it's time for Americans once again to start the tradition of the Victory Garden, so that we can also become somewhat food independent once again. Leslie, would you like to explain something about the field?
Yes. This field is growing sorghum. Sorghum is a grain crop. The stalks are crushed and turned into syrup. And the syrup is what you put on top of the pancakes that you make with the grain. So just want to show you a couple of the little sprouts as they're coming up. Now, we do a type of planting here called trench. And trench farming is something that was done when I did the research on it. I did research on the Andes Mountains, because they grow potatoes in the Andes and it's very, very cold. What they were doing with the trenches is using water to keep the soil warm. So they were putting water in the trench and planting the potatoes beside. Well, here in the desert, trenches are where things are protected from sun and wind and predators. You know, the predators of vegetables. Now this is sorghum sprout, right? And the field is now covered in them.
They're everywhere coming up.
See? These sprouts, when mature, will be from 6 to 8 feet tall. They will be as much as 2 inches in diameter. Each seed head holds almost a full cup of grain.
So from
that we drink fresh. It is incredibly high in minerals and and carbohydrate.
This is-
Molasses nice and
Tell them what you discovered last year, Leslie, when some of the sorghum juice went off. We kept it a little longer.
right. Well, what happened was it was getting late in the season. We were crushing and crushing and crushing and crushing. And in the rush to crush, one of the jars of fresh juice got left out in the sun. And it
Began to ferment.
began to ferment. And when we opened it up, we had an amazing
Very short. It turned out it was just perfect to leaven bread with. It was just enough to raise the sorghum, what used to be sorghum biscuits, into sorghum bread and cakes.
Yes, and it gave it wonderful loft, and we make the most amazing sorghum sourdough. Now, the black pipes that you see in the trench, that's the irrigation system. I'm using a system of direct irrigation. It is the easiest way to use water to water a field.
Well, thank you all for coming out today. We don't want to keep you any longer, but another time we'll show you the Victory Garden itself as well.
We are also growing vegetables, and I'm practicing a type of permaculture. So not everything is planted in the garden at the same time. We're naturalizing many of the vegetables and herbs here. They will adapt, come up year after year without any sort of planting or any sort of work. All right, and
That'll do it for today. So thank you again for coming out, and remember, have faith and expect a miracle.
And until we have the pleasure of each other's company again, may the God force run strong within you. And as always, may your magics work better than expected.